Boo Boo the ghost finds the true trick or treat treasure. Bedtime stories brought to you by Linda Hay and Kidbits. In the haunted town of Witchport, Ohio, there lived a little ghost named Boo Boo. Boo Boo wasn't your typical ghost. He was smaller, friendlier, and far less scary than the other ghouls in town. While the other ghosts spent their days hiding in dark corners and practicing their spine-chilling screams, Boo Boo spent his time floating around the town square, humming tunes, and making daisy chains out of ectoplasm. He was different, and that made him feel a bit lonely. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the leaves swirled around in a spooky breeze, Boo Boo met a new friend named Screecher. Screecher was a young banshee with a voice that could shatter glass, and she was determined to be the coolest ghoul in town. Screecher was always practicing her ear-piercing wails, and she had an unquenchable desire to scare the wits out of the children on trick-or-treat night. "Hey, Boo Boo," Screecher called, her voice echoing through the spooky trees. "I hear you're the ghost who likes to have fun. How about we team up this year and become the scariest duo in town?" Boo Boo's ectoplasmic heart skipped a beat with excitement. He had always wanted to be part of something, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity to fit in and make new friends. "Sure, Screecher," Boo Boo replied enthusiastically. "I'd love to be your partner in a scary spooktacular." Screecher grinned, her sharp teeth glinting in the pale moonlight. "Great! We'll show the other ghouls that we're the coolest ones in town." As the days turned into weeks, Boo Boo and Screecher practiced their scaring techniques relentlessly. Screecher's banshee wails became even more ear-splitting, and Boo Boo worked on perfecting his ghostly appearance, trying to look as eerie as possible. They even came up with a special act where Boo Boo would float silently in circles behind Screecher before letting out a spine-tingling boo to complete the scare. Finally, the much-anticipated trick-or-treat night arrived. The moon hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over Witchport. Ghosts, goblins, and monsters roamed the streets, eagerly awaiting their turn to terrify the visiting children. Boo Boo and Screecher took their positions behind a gnarled tree hidden in the darkness. The first group of kids approached, their faces painted with excitement. Screecher readied her banshee wail, and Boo Boo prepared to make his grand entrance. But as Screecher let out her deafening scream and Boo Boo emerged with a boo of his own, something unexpected happened. Instead of terrified screams, the children burst into fits of laughter. "Look, Mom, it's a cute ghost and a silly banshee," one of the kids exclaimed, pointing at Boo Boo and Screecher. The cool ghouls in Witchport stared in disbelief. They had expected fear, but all they got was giggles and smiles. Boo Boo and Screecher's attempts at scaring had turned into a comedy show. The cool ghouls in town laughed and pointed at the two friends. They called them the Spookless Duo and other cruel names. Dejected and embarrassed, Boo Boo and Screecher slinked away from the trick-or-treat night festivities. They sat down on a moss-covered log, feeling like the biggest failures in the ghostly world. But then a small child with a friendly smile approached them. "You guys were awesome. You made us laugh so hard. Halloween is supposed to be fun, you know?" Boo Boo and Screecher exchanged glances and couldn't help but smile. Maybe being different wasn't such a bad thing after all. They spent the rest of the night entertaining the children, making them laugh with their not-so-scary antics. From that day forward, Boo Boo and Screecher became known as the friendliest and most entertaining ghouls in Witchport. They discovered that there was more to Halloween than scaring people. It was about bringing joy and laughter to those who crossed their ectoplasmic paths. Boo Boo and Screecher found their true trick-or-treat treasure. And so, every trick-or-treat night, Boo Boo and Screecher would float through Witchport, making children smile instead of scream, proving that sometimes the scariest mistake can be the most delightful surprise. Thank you for listening. Check out Kidbits on YouTube for more story downloads. Click the bell and subscribe if you want more children's stories.